Welcome back to another episode of the True Facts Podcast. I am Roman.
And I am Ahmed.
That was quite a long pause, but that's alright because we have quite the episode today. To those who are returning out of our hundreds of viewers coming back again, we have a new setup today compared to last episode. Won't be so much as a story time rather than two separate segments split apart by what we're going to call grind my gears segment. We're going to let go of some anger about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, whatever pisses us off. But for right now, Ahmed, how about you take the lead on your first segment?
And to reiterate, I am Ahmed, and he is
That
Roman.
is Ahmed. Right. And in case it was unclear before, that is Ahmed.
Alright, my segment is going to be about technology. I love technology. Ever since I was a little boy, my parents called me stupid, except when they needed help with technology.
I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Was it like that over there?
It's okay, dude.
What kind of things were they asking you about?
They said, why isn't the phone working, stupid? I said, you have it upside down, mommy.
That sounds like something your mom would do.
So fucking... I'm currently in sciences of the computer education, online classes and all that. Roman is currently on an online course on how to make a successful OnlyFans.
Yes, it was an expensive class. There was a long wait list, but I got in for sure.
Link in the description.
Link in the description.
And... fuck it. Oh, no. Alright, and first, what I really like, one of my fucking favorite technologies is cheap technology. My phone costs $130. This mic I'm using was $40. These headphones were also $50. Fuck, $50. I spend most of my time just looking for deals. Yeah, most of my everything on this desk was either on sale or the cheapest I could find.
And what is your mentality behind that? How come you don't want to go for more name brand rather than something you find at your local 7-Eleven?
Literally, if you find the right product, the only difference is the brand. Everything else, the molding, the quality, everything. Sometimes it's even the same company. It's just they slap a brand on one and they don't on the other. Sometimes they...
Is that for a more... Would you say it's for quantity rather than the quality, or do you think the quality between both products is the same?
Well, they're gonna make a million Corsair keyboards, and they're still gonna make a million Red Dragon keyboards. All these are bulk.
Right.
So it's really just the same stuff. It's all the industry standard. If you fall below it, then obviously you're not going to get on the board, and you're not going to get on store shelves.
Now, where do you like to shop for your I don't know. Give us an example of where you're shopping.
All right, eBay.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I know you guys have us, not the audience, but Roman and his flock. He has an association of eBay and used shit, or eBay and shady shit.
And I'll get into that later on. Yeah, with the story to tell. Oh boy.
Let's see here. Yeah, I try to get stuff at a lower price.
Right.
You can. If you make enough compromises, you could keep in your price goal and get exactly what you wanted.
Maybe if you could bargain with that person.
Especially, not even like on a person-to-person thing. That's a, haggling skill. Just the market is so saturated with technology, you could find a company doing exactly what you want. I wanted a 1080p screen with 5,000 milliamp hour battery, and I found one just by waiting and doing the research, all for $130.
I'm very proud of you, and I know your mom doesn't tell you this, but I'm very proud of you for doing that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Hey, bro. That's one of my hobbies, just trying to find. When I'm trying to buy something, doing the research and getting it for a lower price, the same amount of quality.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got for us?
Let's see. Let's talk. Speaking of technology, Segways are the vehicle of the future.
Segways.
Speaking of Segways, well,
Let me guess. We're talking about Segways, Ahmed. I mean, the thing that we.
Yeah,
not.
I'm making the segue. All right.
Oh.
Let's list off all the phones we ever had.
All right. Want to go first, or do you want me to go
Uh,
first?
yeah, we'll trade off. I'll go first.
Okay.
All right. My very first phone was, let's see, back in 2016, 2017. I got $40 from a holiday, and I went to Family Dollar and I bought a $40 phone. Brand new in the box.
I just love the idea of that.
I wanted a phone. I didn't even do any research. This was before. I just no. I looked up a few reviews. It was an okay phone. It was the ZTE Maven, and I liked it a lot. I still have it over there in my little fucking treasure trove.
Yeah.
Doesn't work.
Yeah. Why? I mean.
No, well, yeah, I cracked the screen. Then I wanted to sneak it into somewhere. So I put it in a Ziploc bag. Alright, so I would go to this teaching center after school, and they had a no phones policy, and they would, like, I don't know, pad down my pockets because they're gay.
Oh, okay.
So I would bring the phone in. Well, first we had to come in early because my brother's class was earlier than my class. I would hide the phone in the water tank of the toilet in the bathrooms.
There's no way you did this.
In case you guys don't know, the water reservoir of a toilet is completely clean water, just because there's no way for the actual sewage to go up into the water reservoir. That's not how toilets are designed. Alright, so it's sterile.
So what I'm hearing is that you put your phone in the toilet.
Yeah,
Well, I
basically.
just feel like you didn't do this.
No. I wanted to play on my phone. I got free Wi-Fi from. I didn't have data on this phone, by the way. I got free Wi-Fi from the coffee place next door. So I put the phone in a Ziploc bag. I taped it to the. I should have used better tape. This was the problem. And the phone was cracked. I cracked the phone. I'll mention it now. I had the phone for about 2 months, and I dropped it downstairs. I dropped it on cement and never cracked. So I was in geometry class, and I was explaining to this kid, this shit's way better than your iPhone, bro. Look at that crack on there. Not a single crack. And he said, yeah, okay. I said, hey, watch. I slammed it onto the ground. But
as one would do to explain that their phone is better than theirs.
I slammed it on the ground. It bounced up. I already saw it was cracked. It was gone. I thought the ground was just cement with a thin layer of carpet. I thought it was just carpet.
No, it's rock solid under there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
All right, so
imagine. So you had your phone in a toilet.
Yeah,
Imagine
right, and the
if
screen
you had
was
a kind of
cracked.
phone call.
Yeah, I didn't have service.
Right. Right. That makes sense. Okay.
If I got a phone call, someone would have a confusing shit, man.
Yeah, the toilet will start vibrating. They might think it's like a a weird pleasure thing.
What the fuck?
Wow,
Oh
this is
god.
quite nice, actually. Wow. Oh, okay.
That learning center was a religious thing. I think it's a demon trying to get him.
I'm sorry I've done this. What did I do?
The spirits.
Was
Fucking.
it in
Alright.
like a? It was in. You said it was in a religious center, so
Yeah. The one that we pass over. I'm not gonna name any roads, but you've seen it before.
oh yeah, the one over by
No.
First and Second Street.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
You could say it, then do the method.
Oh yeah. Well, wait, it's the one on beep, and it's
Yeah.
that's gonna sound so stupid. I can't wait to hear that.
Doesn't sound awesome. Trust me. Alright, so long
Uh.
story short, water got into the phone through the cracks on the screen. I put it into rice, took it out, it worked for a second, I didn't leave it in there long enough. And then I was on the market again.
Yeah.
Alright, your turn, Rome.
My first phone. I don't know exactly what it was called, but picture this. Imagine a small, probably 4 inches by maybe 2 inches, and it was probably 3/4 of an inch thick. They were called basic phones. They were the dusty, dark section of Verizon Wireless that
Oh.
you walk in there and some old lady just standing over there trying to get the best deal on whatever is out there still.
Me, basically.
Or Ahmed. An old lady and or Ahmed is standing over there at all
Just kidding,
times.
folks. I don't haggle at retail stores. I'm not a crazy person.
But you do shut down the clerk when they ask you, "Can we get a phone number?"
Nope.
You say no.
No.
And they just look at you for a solid 10 seconds
no
and then
English.
they continue. No English, please move on. But anyway, it was a slide out keyboard.
Yeah.
Which
That
was
was your first
awesome.
one?
Yeah, my first one.
You made this one sound shittier, right?
It was awesome. I mean, it was a shit phone. I mean, it took like 5 minutes to load my camera roll. And anyway, that's just an example. But anyway, it had this awesome keyboard, and I actually loved having a keyboard. But then the whole phone itself had a relatively big screen size for the thing itself because it was touchscreen.
Oh,
And,
look at that. What year
yeah.
was it?
I would say I was in 7th grade. It was October of 7th grade. And a funny
Oh, man.
side story.
Yeah.
I was, well, how old were we? Probably
7th grade?
12,
Like
13.
Yeah, 13, 14, almost 14.
So
almost
I had just
13 actually. Yeah.
really.
That's alright, man. Go
Oh.
on.
It was October 14th of whatever year that was. And I remember that distinctly because on October 12th, 2 days prior, I had learned the art, get this, of masturbation.
Oh my god.
And I
It's
I
a
was
tech
like,
segment, Rome.
it's a funny side story.
Technically
was-
it affects that, but you know.
Well, I remember, anyway, I'm not gonna tell you how I
Mhm.
discovered this, but anyway, I'm like, you know what? Like that was interesting, but I wish I could look it up.
Yeah, you were like,
I wish I had some. I wish I
"Ooh-wee."
could communicate because I needed to tell somebody about this.
Mhm.
So I'm like, I need a phone. And I'm like, maybe I
Right.
can bribe my phone, not my phone. I can bribe my mother into buying me a phone. And then she's like, okay. 2 days later, she finally gave in,
Mm.
and so we got this phone.
Lucky ass.
And it was okay phone. That thing was indestructible. It was thrown at the ground. I mean, unlike yours, but it survived.
I've
There was one
whipped
time
mine
where-
at the ground, bro.
There was one time I think my younger sister, she like threw it at the side of the house. I don't know why she did this, but
Fuck you, Rome.
like the phone itself was fucked. Like
Yeah.
it looked fine, but it probably shifted like one screw in there, and then it just never turned on again. And so we
Ah.
went back. I'm like, okay, awesome. Like at this point, I had it for probably a year and a half
What the hell?
or so like that. I had it for a long time.
Longer
And,
than me, man. I only lasted like 6 months.
That's unfortunate
Mm.
because when I went back to Verizon, I was like, all right, the new iPhone 6s just came out. This is awesome. Or no, I think at the time maybe it was like the 5, but I wanted the 5 really bad. And I was like, well, my phone is broken now. But then they're like, oh, no, we have a replacement for this.
Hmm.
Because I didn't fucking think that there would be a replacement for this piece of shit phone. And I ended up being really upset. But it was nothing special, this phone. It was just, I'm happy to tell the story that I have had a basic phone like that, unlike many kids nowadays.
Hmm.
So yeah,
So you
that's my
were
story.
stuck with the Android phone?
I was, yeah, for like another year
You
until
like that phone, it's fine.
I liked the phone. I just didn't want to be seen with it going into high school. So, and I luckily right before our band camp had started, my mom had graciously gotten me an iPhone. So,
Mm.
but I still have the phone to this day, and it still works.
Ah, that's great, man. Well, you take care of your shit pretty good. I imagine it still works.
Yeah, unlike some people I know.
Don't make me touch you.
I won't stop you. What?
You want to go over another phones, or let's see. We
Well,
could
the rest of
do
my phones were just iPhones, and I've only had like 2 others,
Yeah.
so it's really
lucky ass. I had that actual experience. I bounced between phones, Rome. Let's see here, sir. Let's see. Oh, let's talk about evolution of nicotine.
the evolution of nicotine.
All right, to my understanding, other than hookahs and different types of pipes, it started with basic, self-rolled cigarettes and tobacco leaf cigars and all that. All right, then it moved on to the 80s. People started getting hookah pens. I'm not sure exactly how they work, but it looked pretty basic, pretty reliable. They sold for a while. And then,
You said hookah pen.
yeah, hookah pen.
Wow.
Other than not the the big ass pipe thing that like takes up a decent amount of room. The hookah pen. Actually, I imagine it's just a scaled down version of that. All right, so
Right.
yeah. Then let's see. I'm not sure exactly. Actually, I kind of remember it. This was early 2010s, mid 2000s. They started doing alternatives to cigarettes to help you stop smoking.
Mhm.
Right, and that evolved into the market that it is today. Just Juuls, Breezes, Ions, all kinds of stuff. They still have traditional vapes and stuff, but they use it casually now. Something that went from to help you to break your addiction to something 14-year-olds hid in the back of history class. Yeah.
Right. And people have also learned how to smoke marijuana like they would smoke a vape.
Oh,
So-
right. Yeah.
And we know, you and me, we personally know a couple people. I can't remember their names.
Mighty few.
There's a couple people. It's almost like it's on the tip of my tongue that I know these 2 people specifically that have done this and have caused quite trouble in both of our lives.
Well, one of our lives. I liked my
one of our-
pothead friends. They were cool. I missed them.
But it's okay because they will never hear this. So, but they will never know that we're talking about them.
None of them graduated high school.
What'd you say?
They were all in my grade. I'm not sure if you knew them, but not a single one of them graduated. Yeah.
That's usually how that goes. Now they're on the street. They're
That's okay, bro.
Now, Ahmed, have you ever used a nicotine product of any type?
I wanted to, but I felt too bad. I didn't want. I bought before the prohibition. I bought a nice huge cigar on my birthday.
Your
Yeah.
18th birthday?
Yeah, my 18th birthday.
Mm.
And it looked. I still got it, man. It smelled nice. It looked nice. I decided I'll just keep it. It'll be a memento.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really recommend smoking it because it's probably, I mean, you're 20.
Yeah,
So,
it's 2 years old. Stop
Yeah.
doxing me.
well, who cares?
Stop
Who cares how
doxing
old
me,
you are?
bro.
What's like, they're going to find your address because I told them how old you are?
I'm 25.
Yeah, okay. But I hope that one day we can share the experience of smoking a cigar together in my backyard
I'm gonna share you.
while my dog comes out and tries to smoke it too.
Yeah.
We'll have to turn her down, this dog.
You're
can
not
tell
even
her
gonna
name,
name
my
the
dog,
dog.
The dog, my actual dog's name, which Ahmed actually is favorited. It's a golden retriever.
The
Her
black
name
one or
is
the white one?
the white one. Her name is
The
I'm blanking.
Caucasian.
I'm blanking.
You don't remember her name?
I don't affiliate myself
Why
with this
don't you
dog.
like dogs, Rome?
I haven't liked a dog since I was 5.
I'm
Because
bored of this.
this dog was named Jake, and he bit me on the lip because I woke him up while he was sleeping, and then they killed him. They killed this dog
Oh
by
my
putting him to
god.
sleep. And I was like, ever since then, I never liked the dog. Franklin, you and I have a common favorite dog right now.
Mm-hmm.
Our buddy's friend dog is probably the best dog I've ever seen.
Why'd they murder your dog, man?
Because it's not safe to have a dog that I guess is capable of harming a child. I mean, I couldn't have been older than or younger. What am I trying to say here? I was probably 3,
Hey?
so it's not very good. It's not. I guess it's dangerous, but at least I have a battle scar on my lip
Oh
that
my
opens up
god.
every winter. So it's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
fuck. Sorry, man. Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, well.
bro. Is that what? Man, I got on 9. I never got bit because I'm not stupid. Not.
So-
Alright, I gotta bleep out something on here. Alright. So
Yeah, that's okay.
yeah.
You gotta make a beep sound.
Back when I lived in a not so good area, almost every week some dumbass would like not lock up their dog, and they'll be waiting for me on my way home. Never got bit once. The closest I ever got bit, they got my pants and I kicked it away.
Ravaged dog.
This dog was he used to be nice until he got out from the yard and chased me down.
I can imagine that happening. And I'm entertained by the image.
Oh yeah, good for you. Yeah, minorities getting chased by dogs.
I got a funny story to talk about dogs.
All right, my segment's about done.
Oh,
You
Good.
can add it if you want.
it's really quick before we do our intermission.
Mhm.
I work at a car manufacturing plant,
Yes, sir.
and this happened 2 days ago. 67 people were fired at the same time because they had brought in, like, we'll call them suits. This is because they're corporate. You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
just what people say. Suits had brought in dogs, drug sniffing dogs, and while people were on their break, like these dogs, I think inside and outside of the factory, had sniffed down 67 people who were either smoking at that very moment or had drugs on them. And you reminded me of that when you said dogs hunting down minorities.
Oh,
So
Roman.
so it was pretty scary because people are losing their jobs just for smoking marijuana. But
Where were you?
I was just doing my job. I was just putting center consoles in this car.
Work,
and I hear-
workity, work.
Right. We're all singing our labor song, and they say, "Hey, Roman, you hear that 67 people were just fired for smoking marijuana?"
Is that a
I'm like,
threat? The fuck?
It was probably. Well, what do you mean by threat?
What? Who told you that? A suit or like your boss?
No, it was some random. They're called materials. They go around on high lows and shit like that, and they just deliver parts to everybody and shit like that. So they didn't say "Hey Roman" in a 1950s sitcom voice, but they they told somebody who I heard from. So it took like 5 minutes for me to understand what
Mm.
had happened. It was pretty traumatic. We were down for like 45 minutes just because people were in the process of getting terminated. So, yeah, they
Well,
love doing that. They love doing that there.
tisk tisk tisk.
Yeah.
That
Well, if you have
is.
what? Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That is a true. No, actually, say your thing first.
Oh,
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
was just gonna say, well, if you had nothing else to say, we can
Mhm.
we can do our very first segue into our new segment.
That is a
Our,
true, very sad fact.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Ahmed, you know what really grinds my gears?
Minorities,
Uh, that and my professor right now. Now,
liberals.
I Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm not afraid to tell you this teacher's name because it doesn't matter. It just pisses me off to just think about her name. Her name is Rashida, and she is not a very nice professor. And let me give you some background. So this is just a math, or more specifically, statistics, and it's our final week. Next week is our final week.
Tough times.
Tough times. Wait, tough times. Tough times.
Mm-hmm.
I got you. And so we have work that is due each week, like you would expect. So
Mm-hmm.
this is week 7 currently on December 2nd. And I finished it yesterday. And so the next week's work, as probably many of our listeners are in college because they're grown-ups,
Mm-hmm.
they are familiar with this format where the next week's work will probably unlock a couple days before the actual week starts.
Did you mention it was an online class?
It's an online class.
You fool.
So, it's expected that we go at our own pace and we just kind of do this whenever we want. That's why we chose that fucking class.
Mm.
Anyway, so it's not a big deal, but this next week's homework for week 8, it unlocks on this Saturday morning at like 12 a.m. And that's fine. That's usually how this goes. But the only thing is, it's a whole week's work. Whole I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say.
Whole week's
All
work.
this work. Yes, exactly. But it's
Whole
due
wheat
the
bread.
next day. It's due the next day on Sunday at 10 p.m. And that's not the normal amount of time we are usually given.
Mm.
So I had noticed this and I emailed my professor and I'm like, hey, is it possible? Can you just unlock this? Can you unlock that right now? I told her this on Wednesday. Said, hey, do you mind just unlocking this? It will give us a lot more time to do this and we don't have to rush. She's like, well, the math department set the times and the due dates, so I've
She's
already done a
covering
lot of.
her ass.
She's covering her ass for literally no reason.
She
And
probably did something, man.
she didn't. What is she gonna do? You know how many times I've asked professors like, "Hey, do you mind unlocking this? Do you mind maybe giving us like an extra day to do this quiz? Like we had a lot of stuff to do this week." I even asked professors, uh, "Hey, I completely missed the final exam. It's been like 2 days after, but is it possible? Can you unlock this so I can take it?" He's like, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
Yeah, I had some cool professors like that. They're like 1 in a million.
But they're all usually make exceptions throughout. She's like, "I've already made a lot of accommodations,"
Oh my
and
god.
I'm like, "Okay, I get that, but all you have to do is unlock the work. Like, I'm not asking you to move the due date. The due date is fine, but right now, as we're getting closer to Sunday, it's becoming not fine because it's not going to be a lot of time, and I'm gonna have to do it on my my day off. I'm
Mm.
gonna need you to cut that voice crack. That was embarrassing.
You should have beeped it. Want to do the beep now?
Beep.
Do you really want it gone?
Or we can leave it in. It's kind of funny, but
You'll listen to it. We'll see.
all right.
Mm.
But yeah, so I've next after she said this, I said, "So you want me to rush my work now?" Question mark.
Her work?
My work. I said, "You want me to rush my work now?"
Oh.
And I kind of ranted. And I'm like, this seems like a very unreasonable amount of time. for this due date given, and I kind of shouldn't be talking to my professor like this, but I'm paying money for this class out of my own pocket, and I don't really have the patience um to accept something like this and just let it stand. Um,
Yeah, that's fair. You're paying for a
Yeah.
service.
but ever since then, which was at like Wednesday at 1 a.m. as I worked the night shift, so that's when I responded. She has yet to respond, and it's very unprofessional. I get that I'm also not doing the right thing by yelling at my professor, but she needs to respond to her students because it just
Left
shows
on
that
red
she's
again by a
yeah
female.
yeah. Not only am I left unread by girls, but I'm left unread by my math teacher. So you can tell I'm having a great time. So and I'm very pissed off. So that's what grinds my gears, Ahmed, and I'm very curious to hear what grinds yours.
All right, the new guy at my work quit after a day, so I gotta work weekends now. So that really fucking grinds my ass. That really burns my ass, Roman.
You gotta give me some more insight here. People
Alright.
don't know. So you don't have to give the title of your company away.
Alright, this
Just what you
guy,
do.
this fella came here from the Midwest. He used to make 45. Our company offered him, alright, the best we could do, $14.50. And on the second day, he was out there training, and he said to my boss in front of everyone, "Can I talk to you for a second?" Then
Oh gosh.
we 17 minutes into his shift, he was gone.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
That means I gotta work Saturdays for a little while now, man.
No.
I'll talk to him in a week or two if I'm not into it.
You should tell him now.
Tell him right now.
Yeah.
I might
interrupt
call him.
this production and get your Saturdays back. I'm sure everybody will understand.
Oh, I'll talk to him in a little bit. Do a segment with my boss on the phone.
I hate you. I'm sorry to hear that, Ahmed. What can I do? I would love to hear that. That'd be actually really funny. Well, if that's all you got, we can transition into my segment.
All right, jump cut. Pew!
And that, people, is what grinds my gears. Tom?
When I started talking about vapes, I think I started losing them.
I was interested in. I was wondering why you had mentioned that.
It's because all my coworkers smoke.
Yeah, me too.
God, I wish I might leave in a little bit of this,
Yeah.
but I'll cut it up.
All right. And we're back from our very expensive ad read with Goldfish. So I want to relate my segment to your topic of technology. I guess in this case, software, more or less than technology, like physical hands-on technology.
Do you know what really the technology that really grinds my gears?
I'm sorry to
Dating
say this,
apps.
Yes, dating apps. This is what I should. This is probably what I should have used in our little segment. No, but dating apps. I don't like. I don't know if our viewer or listeners are familiar with the app Let Go.
The most famous dating app.
The most famous dating app for getting rid of useless shit that you don't want. That's gonna be another huge.
Speaking about my ex. Yeah.
Ahmed, I was gonna transition into that.
Alright, go ahead.
Anyway, so I got a story. So I don't like Let Go because it looks like Wish. I feel like it looks like that
Wish.
app, you know,
Oh,
you know
yeah,
Wish. It looks like that, except it's just local people. I don't know the radius necessarily,
Local anonymous people.
but it's where you can go to buy pretty much whatever you're thinking, and somebody has a used version of that. And so I was like, okay, I
Anonymous
had this
safe sex.
anonymous safe sex,
No.
used Q-tips, pretty much anything you can imagine. Uh, I at the time wanted to have a new gaming chair,
Mm. So you bought a
and
used greasy one.
yes,
Yes.
I bought a used greasy, a brand new, no, but somebody bought my used greasy one. So, actually, no. It took a long time. I had to cycle between apps. So eBay was first,
Mm.
and I ended up getting almost scammed
You were gonna
because of
ship it?
this. I was gonna ship it, and he's
God,
like,
bro.
and I was like, this is gonna be way too hard. So I'm like, I'm just not gonna do it here. The shipping is gonna be like $1 billion for this person. And so I'm like, well, there's a Letgo. I've heard of it before, and I think it ran under a different name, but I can't remember what it was called.
OfferUp?
Oh yeah. Oh wait, that's actually what the app is called. It's called OfferUp.
OfferUp bought Letgo now.
Oh, so I'm stupid, is what you're saying.
No. Why the fuck would you know about that?
OfferUp and Letgo. Well, I don't know.
They just bought them
I know
like
there
a
was
few
two.
months ago. Or a year ago.
Well, it had to have been April, which is when this was.
Eh.
Anyway, so I listed on there. It was on there for forever, and I had plenty of different. I don't know if I want to say customers, maybe candidates.
Johns.
Yeah, a few different Johns who would hit me up on the old Letgo. I said, yo, how much?
I don't
I'm
think
like,
you know what Johns mean.
penis.
No,
No, I don't know.
people.
And,
That's what prostitutes call people they're gonna fuck.
I did not know this.
Alright, so you're
But now I know.
Johns, right?
So
Not
I'm like,
prostitutes, sex workers.
sex workers had hit me up.
Keep
And they
girl
said, yeah, how
boss in
much-
Queens.
Random ass thing I've ever heard in my life.
Go ahead, bro.
Before I got rudely interrupted, I was talking about how I was selling this chair for $100. And that's kind of a lot for a used chair. But like, well, I'm gonna get my money back for this chair if some sucker is about to buy this. Shout out to the Asian guy. But anyway, so I had pulled up to this random parking lot after previous plans of meeting into a Panera Bread parking lot with my brother, who will
I'm
not be
sorry,
named.
you would've got kidnapped, man. Panera Bread.
I could have gotten kidnapped. I mean, it was
Everyone
that
that eats at Panera Bread, except for our lovely audience, kidnaps little boys and eats them. Puts
It's
them on
almost
their
known.
fucking
It's like-
flatbread pizza.
It's like, yeah, you get Panera Bread. You're known for their bread bowls, but also getting children kidnapped in the parking lot 10 feet away. It's kind of like their thing, like, But so after probably a week before we had done this,
Facts.
we had planned all this. And then he said, "Okay, meeting in Panera Bread parking lot." I don't remember where exactly it was, but so we had to get on there, and mind you, this guy doesn't speak very good English. Even texting wasn't very good.
Right,
Yeah,
so you put your
you-
fingers on your eyes and you fucking made your eyes long.
Yeah, he's like, oh, and he started speaking perfect. It's almost like we understood each other. The moment I had done this, he's like, oh, I understand. It was so bizarre. We spoke in
How
a shared
bizarre.
language. Exactly.
Right.
And so we were sitting in this parking lot, and this random car pulled up next to us. And
Subaru,
I'm like, well,
of
this
course.
must be the guy, a Subaru.
Yeah, it was a
the
Subaru
only
or a
one.
Hyundai or a Toyota or a...
Any Asian car like that. So I text him on the app. I'm like, "Yo, is that you?" And he's like, "Me here." I'm like, "Okay, gotcha." So I'm like, I
But
get
how
out of
did
my
he
car.
say it?
On the text, it was "me here."
Oh, okay. Me
And I'm like,
here.
okay. So I look over at him, I wave, and I point at my phone, and he pointed at his phone. I guess it's some sort of shared communication. And
Damn.
so I get out.
Clown to clown communication.
Right, pretty basic type shit that was going on here. So I get out of the car,
Hey.
as I was explaining, and I open my trunk and I get the well, I made it very visible that the chair was indeed in my car, and I'm like,
Come
I'm
here,
gonna need the
Asian
money
man.
first. I'm like, I
Asian
need the money
guy.
first.
Yeah.
Asian guy said, Asian, get over here.
I'm
I
not
said,
gonna
I need your
fuck
money
you.
first.
Get closer. What? Come,
Incredibly
sweetie.
racist. He was kind of wailing away. He was terrified. But I'm like, okay, I need your money first, and I probably sounded really sketchy, but I'm like, hey, I need
Well,
money
you had a
first.
reason.
Well, yeah, I was the seller, and so he's like, yep,
Yeah.
how much? At this moment, he asked me how much,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I could ask for any amount of money. I could take advantage of this guy and go to hell, or I could just ask for what I asked for in the beginning. But then he's like, okay. So I'm like
Okay.
$100, and he shelled out $100, and then he
Yeah.
opened his trunk, which was packed with dirty, cum-soaked newspaper. For
Yeah.
whatever reason, it was cum-soaked. I can't put my
Come
finger
on,
on
bro.
it. And so I lifted this chair. It's probably 50 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
60 pounds, and so I had no problem lifting it, but
Mhm.
getting into his car was the trouble. And
Oh.
I was attempting to get into his car, and I'm like, hey man, I'm gonna need some help here. Like I don't want to drop your chair. And he's like, yes. And I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, can you like put down your back seats? And he's like, I don't know
No.
how. I'm like, I don't know, like know how. And I'm like, all right. And so I'm
Ni
like, just
hao.
pull that lever. I'm like, pull that lever.
Oh man, that's a little
Pull the
mean
lever.
girls.
That's all right. We live in a society,
You
and
li-
I'm like, pull that lever. He's like, lever? I'm like, yes. And so I ended up just putting the whole chair down, pushing his seats down, which were also cum soaked. And so I eventually
being
put this
gross.
fucking shit on. I shook his hand, and we were on our very merry way.
Mm.
And I'm just glad I had this experience because it was just really quiet and just really interesting,
I think I know this guy, bro.
you know?
Yeah, it's weird. I I saw a profile on Let Go. He was selling this lamp, right?
Right.
Right, but it was like the rock lamp, like the rock salt lamp,
Mm-hmm.
and he was licking it.
Mm.
Yeah.
And this guy was licking his salt lamp. He's like, it tastes great. Don't worry about it.
Isn't
Great
that
lamp.
isn't that weird, bro? Why
little
would
bit weird.
someone lick a rock salt lamp?
I don't know. I don't know if you're hinting at being. I've never licked a rock salt lamp
No,
in
not
my
you,
life.
bro, not you. Why would someone?
Who has done this? I need you to tell
Why
the
would
audience, including
someone
me.
lick?
Just give a false name, but tell me the story.
Why would? So weird. It's like as if you were FaceTiming someone.
Oh my God! Yes,
What? I didn't say anything. What? Bro?
Oh, well, I know who you're talking about.
We'll get
But-
into that later if you want.
Well, I might get into that. We'll see. Anyway, next up, I got
Mm.
the process of selling my laptop, and I had completely destroyed the motherboard in this very
Well,
expensive
you
laptop.
didn't destroy it.
Well, I did. It was an accident. I had, for those computer nerds out there, I know we have at least a few hundred, maybe,
Yeah.
computer nerds out there. I wanted to put a internal SSD in,
Mm-hmm.
and so this is a brand new laptop. I was scared of just opening the back panel
I don't know why
So-
you were fucking with the ribbon cable from the keyboard to the motherboard.
because the way it was in there was like on top of it, you had to remove the battery, you had to take off these screws. And our good friend, for those who were listening last week,
Mhm.
which I'm assuming you were, the same dumbass friend. He's like, let's take it out bit by bit, everything, like
Oh my god.
everything down to the fans. I'm like, oh gosh.
What a
okay."
retard.
And
Why?
I paid like $2,000 for this laptop.
You should have
Like,
had me do it. It would have been like 5 seconds.
oh, I know. One of the biggest regrets this year, man.
Uh,
And anyway, we got the SSD in. We put the whole damn thing back together, and it worked except for the fact that the touchpad didn't work, and the
Mhm.
keyboard didn't work. So I'm like, well, fuck. Like I had clearly messed something up so bad, but I left it there because I didn't use the laptop traditionally. I hooked it up like a PC.
mm-hmm.
Pretty much the biggest scam I've ever pulled off.
Yeah, your mom made you buy a laptop and you listened for some reason.
And I listened, but at least I didn't buy a Mac.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, great.
So anyway, I let it be for months,
Mhm.
and I eventually decided I'm like, you know what, I don't want this anymore. Like I'm gonna try and sell this and see what I can get for it.
Mm.
But at the time, everything was still working.
Yeah.
Like it just like the lights were good, and everything else was fine. And so I went back in, and I don't know if I just got myself confused, but like I think the keyboard did work.
Did it?
Somehow the keyboard did work, but the touchpad still didn't work. So I'm like, well,
Yeah,
maybe
they were
maybe I
separate.
think the broken pins. I think the broken pins were the problem. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna buy a new ribbon cable.
Ah.
And so like that doesn't make any sense because it was on the motherboard, not the ribbon
Was it
cable.
soldered to the motherboard? It shouldn't
The
be.
the ribbon cable?
Yeah. No.
No, no,
Well, you
because I
could
non the ribbon
something.
cable was fine, but it was
Yeah.
the motherboard itself, which I
Something
had.
was bent on there or
The,
broken.
there was I think 3 or 4 pins
Okay.
which were bent, and I'm like, oh god, fuck.
Oh
Like
God, Ron.
after I bought this the brand new ribbon cable,
Mm.
I attached. I'm like, well, it's bound to work.
Yeah.
I turned it on, nothing. Now the keyboard and the touchpad don't work.
Oh my God.
Just as I had remembered,
Oh my God.
and I'm like, well, I completely fucked this thing. It turned on, but you couldn't use it without like an external
Keyboard and mouse.
keyboard mouse.
Hmm.
I'm like, well, I'm not about to do this. Like, I'm just sick of this damn thing. I want it out of my fucking sight. I bought a new PC.
remember,
I
yeah.
ended up buying a new PC.
Yeah.
Sure,
That was way after though.
It took a while,
Huh.
and I had used eBay.
Mhm.
So this website is more well known, but it's also known for scams and
Oh my. That's like from the 2000s. Barely nowadays.
well, it had happened to me.
That's not a
couple times.
recommendation, folks. It's just that's not a recommendation. Folks.
Be aware that it
careful.
happens. Be aware it happens all the time.
Be
I-
smart.
I listed it for a measly like $500,
Yeah.
and I ended up getting that amount for mind you a broken laptop. So they would have to fix it. The motherboard is going to cost 90% of what you paid, and I, that's not too bad, for selling a broken laptop.
You bought
Anyway,
it new though.
I brought it brand new,
Alright, oh,
brand
man.
spanking new,
This
and I only had it
painful,
for a
man.
year. I hadn't even had it for a year, and so this guy was showing interest. He was like, "Okay, I'll pay 500 for it."
Mhm.
I'm like, "Perfect." I'm like, "Perfect." I started to get everything set up, and I'm like, "All right, so you need to pay me first, because that's how it works. That's how a
Yeah.
transaction works." And he's like, "No." I'm like,
What?
You kind of have to. You need to pay me through eBay for me to even get the shipping invoice. Like that's how this works." And it's like, well, how am I supposed to know that the laptop's in good condition? I'm like, it's not in good condition, and you know exactly what you're getting.
Mm.
It's broken. And he's like, well, you need to ship me this laptop first. And I'm like, no.
Why
I'm
even
like,
waste your time talking to this?
because
clown?
I thought he was just a fucking idiot. I'm like, are you insane? And I'm like, this isn't a restaurant. You don't get your food and then pay after. Like, because
Well, yeah, you do.
I would have to be complete. No,
It's
you're
not like McDonald's, rather.
No, it's not like a restaurant. They bring you your food, then you pay.
Yeah.
This is not like that. On eBay, you
Oh,
pay
right,
first,
okay, I
and then
get it.
yeah, it's the complete opposite. So, I let this guy go, whatever, and then I do get another type of sketchy customer.
Mm.
I don't know,
So
a buyer.
sellers get scammed more than buyers?
I feel like that can be the case, because how are we supposed to really know? I
Hmm.
mean, if something is showing interest in our item, we're probably just going to go for it, because you can't go wrong, because if they pay you on PayPal, well, now you have this money. So
PayPal, I heard
it's
it's
a really
pretty
safe
good.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a safe transaction the way it's supposed to be done.
Mhm.
But he was like refusing to pay me like through the app, which was a sketchy thing.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this new guy, oh, burp.
Burp.
So eventually a guy had actually paid me for this. And I was like, well, he's already paying $500 for a broken laptop. Like, I could pay for shipping. It can't be that bad, right? And so I after I had gotten my money, and I had the invoice, and it was all packed up. I even included a laptop case, because I'm not gonna need it ever again, like a 17-inch laptop case.
He included a bunch of shit.
Yeah, like a cooling pad, like all the stuff that I was using. I thought it might be nice. I'm getting more than what this thing is worth at the moment. So I'm like, okay, I'll pay for shipping too. Not a big deal.
Mhm.
He lived in like New Jersey or something like that. Not too far.
Bum
Wait, what is
fuck
it gonna be?
nowhere.
bumfuck nowhere. Pretty much, I don't know anybody who lives there. So I have it tucked away in this box that I had made.
Ye-
And the USPS guy, he was like, "This is not gonna work. So you need a bigger box." I'm like, okay, whatever, fine. So there was a box behind me I used. He's like, "You need packing now." I'm like, "God fucking damn it!" And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Okay, this
This
is
guy-
heavy. This is heavy." I'm like, "Well, all right, shouldn't be that big of a deal." Um, I'm like, "So what's the total?" He's like, $112. And I'm like, "Oh my fucking God, like that's such an insane amount of money."
This guy ran you up like a motherfucker. He just
Well, like,
kept
what am I gonna?
upcharging you.
He kept charging me. I'm like, like at this point, my mental state, I was just like, get the fuck out of it. Like, just take this laptop away from me. I don't even care. Like,
You should have
I,
called me. I would have handled it, man.
I would just, I'm like, just take it. Like, I just put my credit card in. I paid $112 for somebody else to take this laptop away from me. And I did not make a profit. I lost so much money on top of I lost the whole value almost of this laptop that I had bought, and then I bought another PC. So I was in the hole like 3 grand. Like,
Yeah,
oh God, just thinking about it.
that's
But I think it would have been easier if the way these apps are set up, maybe a little bit more sophisticated. But you can't complain too
Uh,
much because most of the time it works pretty well.
yeah. It's a 99% hit. You
Right.
gotta learn how to work it, man. It's not your fault. You were already fucking flustered about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just wanted that day to be over, is what we all like to say.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm going to transition into dating apps.
I am
Another
going
talking
to
point
transition.
into a
You
transformer.
fucking Nimrod. I am
So,
going.
dating apps, as probably many of you know, are the worst thing to ever exist. Especially when you're a hopeless romantic like myself and
Oh,
trying to find a newfound love.
why can't I
Uh,
find a nice girl?
why can I
Oh.
find a nice girl? Oh. And I think the technology in these apps, the software behind it all, is very underdeveloped. Or maybe just the ideas. Maybe I think the
So
technology might be there, but
rigged.
it's sure. Yeah, we can call it rigged. It's like a arcade
Mm,
machine.
yeah.
It's highly pay to win. Like just like in video games.
This is a
You
bad
you
video
can
game.
it's like almost all these apps, the main ones like Tinder, Bumble, or Hinge, um, you know, somebody will like you, but then it's just blurred out. Like you
Mm.
can't even see them unless you pay $100 for 2 months, and then you pay. Some suckers will pay. I mean, I'm guilty of paying this charge,
But Tinder, the better deal.
but Tinder has probably the best one out of the few,
Mm.
and it's like $15 a month, and you get unlimited likes, unlimited swipes, and you get to see what kind of algos are liking you. And so,
Yeah.
so basically, it's a scam because you get a bunch of likes, which are probably from bots. The more you think about it, but it's just
Mighty few.
these people that you're not gonna swipe on.
Mm.
Like at one point I had like 16 likes that I had built up. I'm like, okay, you know, there's got to be a good one in there. There's got to be. I'm like, I shelled out the $15, and I just was distraught.
Statistics. The statistics aren't in your favor.
They never are.
No, not fucking. It's not an insult. It's like literally, statistically.
No, I understand. I understand. I'm just saying, for basic fella like you and me,
Mm.
like it's not a good idea to buy those
Mm.
those likes or to view who liked you. I mean, I've had a couple experiences where I'm like, oh, that's not too bad. So I'm like, for me, that's pretty good. Like
Down horrendous.
in the end, they ended up being down horrendous, and it's like, what are you, catfishing kind of
Mm.
type thing? They
You
suck
got
in their
catfish last
stomach,
week.
and the week before.
Oh
Uh,
god.
yeah, so that was really funny.
Mhm.
But I'm sure plenty of people have had these experiences as well.
Yes. Please share in the comments.
Right. And Ahmed, do you have any stories
Oh.
about your experience?
Uh. No, I'm a normal person. I did all my shit in real life. Don't need no apps.
Well, I can guarantee you that this is probably the truth, and I know you would never lie to me.
The
that you were-
economy is up, and you still have 0 hoes.
Yeah.
No.
Well,
No.
I know for me, I don't like these apps at all
Mhm.
because prior to a different relationship, I wasn't used to talking to girls a certain way or having to swipe on somebody
You want to let them
and
know
base a
how
relationship.
far. You want to let them know how far out of the game you are. How many years?
4 years. Well,
40.
I
5
it was
years.
4 years. This December would be 5 years if that didn't happen. This I had mentioned it last week. But I'm not going to because nobody actually cares, including me. But
Leave a comment if you care.
leave a comment if you care, and we'll talk about it next episode. That goes out to the girl herself. If she wants to know how it went, if she wants to know how it went, how I'm doing, she can comment a crying face emoji, and I will talk about it next episode. So I wasn't used to having to swipe on people, and that's the only judgment you're allowed to give them is, oh, you're ugly, oh, you're not ugly. And then even if they like you back just because they think you might be cute, like they're not going to respond. And they're just, even if they do respond, most of the time they're just out for sex, like a certain person that I've known.
Me.
Yeah,
Me. Yes.
you.
Yes.
And
I'm an animal.
you're vicious out there. And it's just not the best way, especially if you want an actual relationship rather than people who just fuck around and literally just play with you until you and wring you out until you're very dry.
Rome, I'm
So-
sorry, but you're like a fucking anti-suicide ad commercial. Your life is an anti-suicide ad commercial, Rome.
Or it's a suicide promotion video.
No, you know what I
So,
mean, bro.
People don't kill yourself. It's bad. Trust me. I've done it.
No matter how bad you are, if you ever get Roman bad,
Yeah.
please
If you ever
call.
get Roman bad, call the suicide hotline, which I don't know, and
Please
you can
call
just-
that
just go-
fucking song that rapper made.
Oh yeah.
What's his
Logic.
name? Logic. Yeah, please call Logic, and the Logic song.
Yeah, when you call them, they expect you to sing that song, and they know. Then they know
No.
exactly what you're going through.
No, Rome.
All right, whatever.
It's okay, bro.
To end things off here, I want to do we can both do a small review
Mhm.
of each app that we've used. I know you lied and said that you're not into these apps, but I know you are. I'm gonna say we're gonna go on a 10-point scale.
Yeah.
I've only used 3 apps. I mean, except for that one that I had a lot of luck on. It started with a G. Had a lot of
Oh.
interest in me and my body. Grinder. Yeah, it was amazing. And apparently guys like me a lot, and I liked them, and we really hit it off with all these men. But then I shortly deleted it because I realized it was for gay people. And I think
This app helped me lose my virginity, but I can't. But I can't sit down anymore.
yeah, I no longer had the ability to sit. Especially that last guy.
Come on,
So,
Rome. Come on.
I'm go-
Tinder.
Tinder. I'm gonna give it a solid 4 out of
Number.
10.
All right. Do a number, then 1 sentence review.
So I'm gonna give it a 4.
Come
And
on.
that's pretty high. It's pretty. Don't rush me.
Oh my god. Rome, please. I really gotta use the bathroom. I've been holding it.
Well, that's your fault.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You want me to go middle of the podcast? All right.
No.
Go on, Rome.
Just breathe, Ahmed. Anyway, I would say it's the best because it's the cheapest. And if you want to pay for it, it's not going to be all that bad. Bumble, I'm going to give it, I would say, a 3.5. Because I like the format. You're forcing yourself to read it more a little bit. Just a little bit more. So a 3.5. It's still terrible, but anyway. Hinge, I've actually had the most luck on, so I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it a 6. 6 out of 10. Just because you have to interact with them, and if they like you, they have to comment on something you have on your profile. It's really interactive. I like it a lot. But yeah, Ahmed, do you want to give a quick rating?
Tinder 6 out of 10.
Wow.
Most luck I had. Hinge, 0 out of 10. Least luck I had.
Oh.
Bumble, 0 out of 10.
Oh.
0 luck. Plus, the
Oh.
bitches don't even respond. Not bitches. The women don't even respond. I gotta
they
cut
really
that up. You have to wait for a response fucking 24
Oh my God.
hours?
Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot. Thank you for mentioning that. That's the dumbest thing on Bumble. You get a like, or they like you like them back, whatever. They have to talk to you. And that never happens because girls don't want to text you first. They don't do it. And they never do. And I'm thinking about deleting this app right now, but I will wait.
Alright, man.
I think that this concludes this week's episode. We will come back even stronger next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the True Facts podcast. It was a little rough, but I really like this episode.
We're really getting to how we're going to be doing this, and we hope you enjoyed. And we will see you later. Bye-bye. See ya.